Did you know the Leaning Tower of Pisa was never meant to lean? Imagine spending nearly 200 years constructing a grand monument, only to realize it's tilting, like it could fall at any moment. Most people would fix such a massive mistake, right? But for some reason, Italy decided to let it be. Why? Was it too expensive? Too difficult? Or was there a secret reason behind this decision? The truth is more fascinating than you might think. A leaning disaster from the start. The Leaning Tower of Pisa's story begins in 1173, when construction started on what was supposed to be a perfectly vertical bell tower. But just 5 years in, builders noticed something alarming. The structure was tilting. The culprit? Soft, unstable soil. The ground beneath Pisa wasn't strong enough to support such a massive tower, causing one side to sink. The builders, thinking they could outsmart nature, tried to correct the lean by making one side taller than the other. But instead of fixing the problem, it only made things worse. The lean kept growing. Eventually, construction had to pause for nearly 100 years. When work resumed in the 13th century, engineers tried everything, adjusting the weight, changing the design, even shifting the center of gravity. But nothing could stop the tilt completely. By the time the tower was completed in 1372, it was already leaning at a noticeable angle. Fast forward a few centuries, and with modern engineering, they finally had the chance to fix it once and for all. But they didn't. Why didn't they straighten it? It turns out there are three major reasons why the Leaning Tower of Pisa was never fully corrected: tourism and fame. The Leaning Tower of Pisa isn't just another historical monument. It's one of the most recognizable structures in the world. Tourists come from all over just to see the unusual tilt and take those classic holding up the tower photos. If it were completely straightened, would it still be as special? Probably not. The very thing that made it famous would be gone. Historical preservation. The tower isn't just a quirky landmark. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It survived earthquakes, wars, and centuries of weathering, and altering it too much could strip away its historical value. The lean has become part of its identity, and keeping it that way ensures future generations can witness its unique charm. Structural stability. The most surprising reason? Fixing it could actually make it collapse. Over the years, engineers realized that trying to straighten the tower completely would disturb its delicate balance. Instead of forcing it upright, they carefully stabilized the foundation, removing small amounts of soil and freezing the tilt at 4 degrees, just enough to keep it leaning, but safe. A mistake that became a miracle. Here's where the story takes a wild turn. The very thing that almost destroyed the Leaning Tower of Pisa is the reason it still stands today. During World War II, the Nazis used the tower as an observation post. When Allied forces moved in, they were under orders to destroy tall structures that could be used by enemy snipers. But when an American soldier arrived and saw the breathtaking beauty of the Leaning Tower, he hesitated. That single moment of awe saved the tower from destruction. A mistake that should have been an engineering disaster ended up making the Leaning Tower of Pisa a global treasure. What do you think? So, the next time you see a flaw in something, remember this: sometimes imperfections make things even more special. But what do you think? Should they have fixed the Leaning Tower of Pisa, or was keeping it tilted the right choice? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more fascinating stories.